we're seeing advanced microreactors work towards the market as early as possibly 2022.
The world is reconsidering nuclear power plants in the facade of climate change. But what can you do to reinvent it? How will the reinvention work? Will it help in more sustainable growth? Or will it help in increasing the current power figures? Or will it help make the current situation easier? Let's see how the new micronuclear reactor would be a life-changing invention.
Do you think you'll see commercial fusion in your lifetime?
Yes, I do think we will see commercial fusion.
Japan's venture with the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant disaster in 2011 has tormented the nation's aspirations to rapidly clamber up nuclear energy for non-carbon radiating energy. Nevertheless, Japan is now peaking to be driving ahead to leverage a new specialized strategy to fulfill the nation's future energy needs. Nikkei Asia documented that Japan's Mitsubishi Heavy Industries plans to build and commercialize nuclear reactors small enough to be carted on trucks by the decade's end to capitalize on the demand for non-carbon emitting energy. The microreactors, which will be 4 meters broad and 3 meters elevated, will weigh slightly less than 40 tons. The reactor and power generation kit will lodge inside a container truck, creating it feasible to ferry it to remote or disaster-stricken zones. The microreactor's ultimate outcome will be 500 kilowatts, or 1/20th of the ability of normal nuclear reactors that cause more than 1 gigawatt. As per the MHI, admirably enhanced uranium is to be utilized as fuel, which does not have to be replaced during the absolute service life. As per the news, each microreactor will need tens of millions of dollars, especially less than the $6 billion USD or more a 1.2 gigawatt nuclear facility would need. The expense of building 1 kilowatt hour will be higher than that of a traditional reactor, but it will be identical to the price of furnishing power to sheltered islands now. Remote sites can fetch a cost-effective, carbon-free advent of energy owing to these micro-reactors. The company has also designed it packed enough to be concealed underground to lessen the chance of misfortune. The technology may be utilized in space exploration.
Rolls-Royce is developing a new microreactor to provide the power for future space missions.
Once the business hooks clearance from Japan and other governments, Mitsubishi will momentarily commercialize the technology in the 2030s. Due to their immediacy to colonized regions, microreactors must be assembled safer than conventional reactors. The establishment has also deemed this, developing the technology so that all of the nuclear reactor's segments, including the core, coolants, and other equipment, are boarded in tightly latched capsule containers. Likewise, highly enhanced uranium will be utilized as fuel, and the reactor will not require to be replaced over its 25-year lifespan. The microreactor can be recovered once the fuel has been used up. The reactors can be seated underground to reduce the danger of natural disasters and terrorism because they will only need little maintenance. Mitsubishi Heavy will also reduce the probability of disastrous coolant failure. The microreactors will employ a solid-state graphite material that is thermally conductive instead of liquid coolants. The graphite wraps the core during normal function and spreads heat to the power generation system. Even when a mishap occurs, lifelike ambient cooling withdraws excess heat from the core. These miniature nuclear reactors have been glorified as game changers on several tiers. They're considered a method to avoid the cost overruns and edifice delays beset by a nuclear power sector vanquished by large reactors. The microreactor is developed to generate electrical power, generally up to 10 megawatts. Though the technology has not been commercialized, numerous layouts are progressing through licensing in North America and Europe, with demonstrations planned in the next few years. Oklo, a US-based organization, proposed a license application in March 2020 to develop and drive a microreactor, with the first reactor desired to start up at Idaho National Laboratory by 2025. The
Microreactors for the purpose of resilient, reliable, clean electricity for their bases.
The US-based companies Westinghouse, NuScale, and Ultrasafe Nuclear all produce reactors with a power outcome of fewer than 10 megawatts, while Sweden's Ledcold and a UK consortium ushered by Urenco are also designing equivalent systems. Similarly, the US Defense Department recently announced plans to build a miniature nuclear reactor. Under the new initiative, the Defense Department will design a 1 to 5 megawatt nuclear microreactor at Idaho National Laboratory for a 3-year minimum test period. The report stated it would be the foremost electricity-generating Generation 4 nuclear reactor made in the United States. Yet, analysts repeatedly point out that U.S. contenders could target microreactors, notably during shipment. Director of the nonprofit Nuclear Power Safety at the Union of Concerned Scientists, Edwin Lyman, told the media that these reactors could generate more logistical issues and risks to troops and property than would unravel concerns.
Reactors are going to be much less efficient than large light water reactors and pose a number of safety and security risks.
And unless the Army is keen to expend what it would bear to make them unassailable for utilization, particularly in potential combat conditions or foreign operating bases, then it's probably rash to deploy nuclear reactors in arenas of war without furnishing the shield they would need.
Even the Department of Defense is now looking seriously at the possibility.
Nevertheless, these materializing technologies will certainly influence the future of many nations' energy essentials.
That will provide them electricity for 10 years without refueling.
Microreactors will most likely be exhibited first in outlying parts of high-income countries such as Canada or the United States. But if the technology gets verified, energy-poor arising economies will be the most conceivable markets for development.
So microreactors have a tremendous opportunity to provide access to clean, reliable electricity.
The performance, which is low like other mini reactors, can be expanded by combining several reactor units. For instance, they can be used on remote islands or as mobile emergency power stations. Since the microreactors require minimal maintenance, they could also be installed underground. It could also reduce the risk of natural disasters and terrorism, according to a report by the media. Highly thermally conductive graphite-based material conducts heat away from the core without liquid coolant. The reactor core is to be housed in a tightly sealed capsule container. The first tests of the cooling function without nuclear fuel are to be carried out in the next 3 years. Prototype tests are planned from 2026 to 2030. Microreactors could come onto the market in the 2030s at the earliest. The cost is estimated at several tens of millions of dollars. So what do you think? Do you consider this innovation to be a life-changing technological upgrade? Or will this serve any purpose to the emerging economies? Comment below your concerns regarding this newly updated tech. Until then, adios.